Hey, welcome everyone. Welcome. Are we live? Are we live? So glad that you could join me here today on this November 17th, 2023. Where the hell did the year go, right? Oh man, I got a good one for you today. But just as a reminder, you got this guy right here. I'm Tom Coffee. Coffee and Nuance on all the socials. If you happen to be over on X, I posted a link to this stream. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Rumble, rumble.com/coffeenuance/live. Like it. Bookmark it. Make it part of your life. But why can I not scroll up? There we go. But I got a good one for you today. Good one for you today. May save you in this next week in Thanksgiving. And that is what I want to talk about. So glad you're here today, everyone. You know, in a world where the news sometimes sounds like it's a fresh off the game of telephone, it's important to keep our facts straight. And that's why I want to talk to you about a little something different today. It's a little thing I like to call, are you sure about that, Gambit? Now, stick with me here because it's not about high-stakes poker or taking someone's lunch money. No. It's about turning a questionable claim into a conversation starter. Here's how it goes. Someone says something that makes your fact-checker antenna stand up, and you just hit them with the golden line. Are you sure about that? It's not confrontational. It's just a nudge to double check their sources, right? And then, if they double down and swear by their alternative facts, you throw in the kicker. Want to make a bet on it? Now, before you think I'm turning this into a Vegas showdown, hear me out. It's a lunch bet. Winner picks the eatery, loser foots the bill. Because, folks, nothing says let's fact check this like a delicious meal shared with someone whose news sources might need a little upgrade. And we're not talking about a WWE-style smackdown over facts here. No, this is what is about turning what could be an awkward disagreement into a fun opportunity to share ideas. Plus, who doesn't love free lunch? Even if you're wrong, you're still right because, hey, free food. So let's embrace this "are you sure about this" gambit. Let's fact check with finesse, dine with delight, and remember, it's not about being right or wrong. It's about sharing the table and getting our facts straight. And trust me, there's no better place for debate than around a margaritas and a plate of tacos. My name's Tom Coffee. This is the Coffee Nuance Show, best censored commentary news show live right now. Flame on. So there's a lot that goes into this. Wow. Not an overwhelmingly well-attended stream today, but what are you going to do, right? Maybe you can make that change. Share this video if you like it with someone that you may disagree with. You know, perhaps this is a way to reach them. Anyway, so here's some techniques for when someone makes a claim, let's say at Thanksgiving dinner, but you don't want to have an all-out fight with them. No, you don't want to make it confrontational. So here's a couple things that you can keep in mind when you're trying to discuss something like this. You want to use Socratic questioning, and so engage them in discussion by asking questions that prompt critical thinking, like, oh, okay, where'd you read that? How'd you come to that conclusion? This encourages them to reconsider without being confrontational. Now, the key here is to appear non-confrontational. Now, some of us have this kind of, thing from birth whether it's our look, the shape of our face, our voice, no matter what we try to do, we just sound confrontational. You've heard of resting bitch face, right? A lot of people have this thing where people think that you're being confrontational, even though you're just trying to be inquisitive. So you need to really keep that in mind. You really need to know how others perceive you, so you can really work on being able to discuss these things with people and hopefully them not freaking out. Talk about resting bitch face. It's interesting. I can't really smile. You know, the traditional thing where you can actually get your lips to curl up at the end, which probably goes hand in hand with being attractive or something like that. No matter what I do, I can smile all I can, and I can't get my lips to even curl up at all. I don't know. Thanks, Mom and Dad. It's a genetic thing, I guess. But because of that, I have a deep voice, and I don't know, sometimes I might talk a little loud, bigger than most people. Often, I have to be really careful how I question people, because it may come off as that I'm being extra confrontational when I'm not. So I just want to encourage you all to recognize what you're working with, and if there's anything that you can work on your acting, right? Work on your acting a little bit to seem less confrontational, more inquisitive, okay? Now, when you're talking with someone that you may have a disagreement about, they're pushing some fake news, right? Well, facts matter here. So just politely present them with verified facts that may contradict it, okay? And you want to be sure that you offer reputable sources that they actually agree with. And that can be an issue sometimes. But, you know, you can do the internet meme of actually. Don't do that. That doesn't work. What you want to do is you want to emphasize the impact, highlight consequences of spreading misinformation, right? So let them know that, you know, incorrect information might mislead others and affect decisions. Let's make sure we have accurate details here, right? You're in favor of accurate details, right? Okay. Another thing is to try to connect and appeal to shared values. So you want to connect about the importance of truthfulness and accuracy. We all value the truth, right? Hey, we both value the truth. Let's make sure our statements are backed by, you know, reliable information, because that's important. That's important to you, right? It's important to me. Okay. You also want to encourage verification. So it's always good to verify information before sharing it. So, you know, it could be, you read that on this post on X or Facebook or something? Why don't we look at it? Or they say, I saw it in an article. Now, I'm telling you right now, at least 90% of the time that someone says they read it in an article, they didn't read the article. They read the headline. And as I've demonstrated on this show, I don't know, 100 times or more, headlines don't match the actual story. So if they read it in a story, read the story, and chances are what they're making their claim is going to be debunked just by reading the actual story. Yeah. You also want to make sure that you acknowledge intentions, okay? So you always want to assume good intentions and say something like, I understand your point, but, you know, it's kind of important to ensure that, you know, these statements are accurate, right? Because if we're going to have a meaningful discussion, we want to make sure that we're on the same page and using accurate information, you know, and you want to say that in, again, the least confrontational way possible. You always want to highlight reputable sources. Now, as I've discussed, a lot of reputable sources, not that reputable. However, I think that most disagreements, that you're going to have with people, say at a Thanksgiving dinner, can be debunked by reputable sources. So that's something else. Also, you want to practice being calm and respectful. You want to focus. You don't want to escalate any tension. So you just want to always be non-confrontational about when you do this. So I just want to reinforce this. This is what I have named the "Are you sure about that Gambit?" Boy, I wish this catches on, because I think it would be very, very helpful. And we're going to need it on Thanksgiving. Sure, it's fun to dunk on people. Put them in their place. Teach them who's boss, right? You're just alienating yourself from people that you probably care about. And so this is what I believe is an alternative strategy for dealing with fact-checking with your friends and family. You sure about that? Okay. Okay. Let them back out gracefully if they won't. And if not, okay, well, hey, would you be willing to bet a plate of tacos on that? Oh, no? You're not confident enough to just bet a plate of tacos? Okay, that's cool. At least I know how much you believe what you're saying. I know how much you believe you're saying. Well, I mean, you won't even bet a plate of tacos, so okay. No, I get it. And if there's other people around, they will see that you're not trying to be confrontational, right? And you may then, maybe you don't reach the person that you've bet, but there's an audience as well. And the audience is going to see how you reacted to fake information. You were calm, you were lighthearted, and you were willing to bet. I think that's very persuasive. Maybe. It's going to take some practice. But if you try this, let me know if it works. I am going to try this. I'm surrounded by people that, let's just say, have a different worldview than I do. And I don't want to be any more alienated than I already am from them. I'm trying to establish good relationships with people, even if they are, I don't know, NPCs to corporate propaganda. But perhaps, right? Perhaps all the research I do is just an illusion, and I'm the one that is wrong. Right? We're all wrong sometimes. There, was that balanced enough? Okay. Anyway, that's the big topic I wanted to talk about today. It is a Friday, a fact check Friday, and we're going to go through a couple fact checks. We're going to have a follow-up about Newsweek and their fairness meter, which I thought could save journalism, but I might be wrong. Okay. So anyway, remember, stick around for the after show. I'll be going through all your comments on YouTube and on Rumble. And if anyone says anything over on DLive, I will also talk about that too. However, no comments yet. So we'll see. But I'll be going through all your comments in the after show, so stick around for that. Anyway, next up, we've got to talk about a follow-up. Osama bin Laden's letter and Newsweek and all kinds of stuff. So, the resurgence of a 2002 document penned by Osama bin Laden titled Letter to America has gained attention on social media. In it, bin Laden blames the U.S. for various Middle Eastern conflicts, particularly citing American support for Israel as a catalyst for violence against Palestinians and Afghans. justifies attack on American civilians as retaliation for U.S. actions in the Middle East. Now, despite being shared widely on platforms like TikTok, the document's content and intent aimed at garnering support for al-Qaeda led to the removal from some websites. The revival of the document is attributed to the ongoing Middle East conflict, sparking emotional reactions, prompting re-examination. However, it's important to note that the letter does contain extremist views and was written with propagandist intent. Okay, so Newsweek actually decided to publish this letter. Yeah. The article talks about what is happening with this. This was just published today. About how this did go viral. It's being pushed on TikTok. You see a lot of young kids kind of saying bin Laden was right. It's a little scary to see that, but it also does show you how easily not just young people, but all people can be victims of propaganda. And I do see that. If you fall for something, you are a victim of the propaganda. That's the purpose of the propaganda, is to trick you. And this letter was definitely propaganda. But I will leave a link to this, and included in it, Newsweek, to its credit, has published they gave all their disclaimers, and then they've published the full transcript of the letter is found on Newsweek. So you don't have to wonder, hey, is this the real one? You know, because it was removed off the Guardian site. Sometimes if someone just does a Facebook post and it's just a text file, you don't know necessarily that that's the actual one. But Newsweek has published it here. And so you can read the letter for yourself. I'm not going to read it out loud. I have read it, and this is one of those things that there can be a number of elements that are true that you agree with, and there are a number of elements that are not true that you may vehemently disagree with. Okay, we're not living in a binary world where everything's good or everything's evil, right? Bin Laden might have some points. He might, but still overall, it can be just absolute terrorist propaganda. In the same way, that's true about a lot of people. Now, I was hoping that, last Friday, I believe, I talked about Newsweek and their fairness meter, so you could read an article and then decide if you thought it was biased or unbiased. But unfortunately, this article you can't rate, which is too bad. Let's see if there's other things that we can rate. Well, I actually watched the Jimmy Kimmel last night. I watched his monologue because for whatever reason I was turning off Netflix or something, and I just put it on live TV. I got a new indoor antenna that I hooked up, and I wanted to make sure it worked. And then Jimmy Kimmel was coming on, so I was like, I haven't seen this guy in years. Let me see what he's talking about. And boy, it was cringe. In my opinion, this guy is an absolute propagandist. But okay. But here's an article. Donald Trump declares war on Jimmy Kimmel. You could also say that Jimmy Kimmel declared war on Donald Trump a long time ago, but okay. And, you can go through the article, and here we go. No fairness meter, so we can't judge. We can't let Newsweek know if this article was fair or not. Okay, well, let's go to another one. A backlash in the U.S. Jewish celebrities urge TikTok take more action to combat anti-Semitism. Well, and this is a number of updates. It's very thorough. You know, it would probably take you a long time to read this entire post because it's just a series of posts giving all the updates that are happening with anti-Semitic incidents in the U.S. Okay, and at the bottom, are we ever able to let Newsweek know if we think that this is biased coverage or not? No, there's no fairness meter for this. Okay. Well, this one should be easy to do. 5 tech innovations that could help save the planet. We should probably be able to decide if this is a fair article or not. They just got, you know, earth cooling paint, which I talked about the other day, taking carbon out of the air, shopping bags made of seaweed. Okay, rust-powered batteries. Are we able to just let Newsweek know if this article was fair or not? No, there's no fairness meter on that article. Okay. How about a fact check? All right, surely Newsweek will let us judge their fact checking with their fairness meter. Fact check: is Doug McKay going to jail for mocking Hillary Clinton? The claim, right? A post on X by Tucker Carlson on November 9th, viewed 4.8 million times, stated, "The First Amendment is done. Douglas McKay is about to go to prison for mocking Hillary Clinton on the internet. We talked to him right after his sentencing. Remember, as you watch this, could be you." The post includes an interview with McKay. Carlson claimed that during the 2016 election, McKay made fun of Hillary Clinton on Twitter, and then a few years later found himself the subject of a federal raid, an indictment, and then a conviction. The facts, according to Newsweek: Douglas McKay was not convicted of mocking Hillary Clinton. Really? As stated in the U.S. Department of Justice, McKay was sentenced to 7 months in prison and fined $15,000 for his role in a conspiracy to interfere with potential voters' right to vote in the 2016 election. McKay posted content on what was then Twitter that encouraged others to vote via text, even though it was legally invalid. Now, if you haven't looked into this case, this is absolutely insane. Okay, and I'm going to get to, you know what? Let me see if I can just pull up exactly what he posted. Should be easy enough. It should be an image. Let's see, vote by text. Interesting that I can't find this easily. Vote by text meme. How about that? Seems to be removed. Can't seem. Okay, here it is. Now this is not image, new tab. So this was the text that he did. This is not the actual one, but so this was the meme that he texted. He texted this. He posted this meme. Save time, avoid the line. Vote from home. Text Hillary to 59925. And we'll make history together this November 8th. And so it was a meme with Hillary Clinton with the same font as the Hillary campaign. He texted this as a joke to his followers. And this was ruled election interference. I know that you may be thinking there's more to this, Tom. This is, there's more to this. This is basically it. I've looked into this. But on Newsweek here in their fact check, they say, no. He wasn't mocking Hillary Clinton. No. He was interfering with potential voters' right to vote in the presidential election. Newsweek is saying that with a straight face. This is their fact-checking department. Tell me, does this look like he's trying to interfere with the election? And by the way, this was a joke and it was done. They also did it for Trump voters as well. Not this guy, but other people voted, hey, you don't have to stand in line, vote for Trump by text. Yeah. So nothing happened to him until Joe Biden took office. And the first week that Joe Biden took office, then they came and they arrested him for posting memes. That's my interpretation of it. So I would disagree with Newsweek. I would like Newsweek to know that they're wrong about this, but yet again, they do not have their fairness meter, and they have rated this right here. The ruling. False. Douglas McKay was not arrested for mocking Hillary Clinton. He was convicted and sentenced for conspiracy against rights related to sending deceptive campaign messages telling prospective voters they could vote at home. He was convicted and sentenced for conspiracy against rights. He's appealed his case. It's weird. I'm not sure why. There it is. Okay. So this is Newsweek. They say, hey, it's false. And there's no fairness meter on it, which is what I was saying last week. If Newsweek has a fairness meter, we can let them know when they might have made an error, maybe when they need to re-examine something, maybe to let other people know that there's others out there that don't buy this story. But as I got onto Newsweek and I went through all the top stories of the day, none of them had the fairness meter. So perhaps that was just I don't know. Maybe an intern at Newsweek had it as an idea. They said, sure, go ahead and run with it. And they let them do it for a couple articles. But now I don't see a fairness meter on any of the new articles on Newsweek. So I'm sorry. I was excited about this. Finally, a news organization that would allow you to rate them on their bias. By the way, you are allowed to rate me on my bias. Yeah, you can do that. I would say if you think, wow, this Tom guy is trying, and he's trying to be fair, you can smash the like button. And if you think that I am just a totally biased person trying to lie to you about everything, go ahead, smash the down button. That's an easy way that you can let me know if you think what I'm doing, if I'm trying to be fair or if I'm trying to manipulate you. Leave a comment, reply on X, whatever, send me an angry email. But I'm open to hear from you if you think that maybe something that I'm doing is not fair, not right. And I wish the media organizations would do the same. Unfortunately, that's what we saw with Newsweek. I got excited. Fairness meter. This is great. I will promote the fairness meter. I will make videos about the fairness meter. I will hopefully now start looking to Newsweek more often as a news source. Well, they got me. I fell for the marketing. I admit it. I got a little too excited that I thought Newsweek was gonna want feedback. So, oh well. Sticking on this subject, let's get to something else. Little dangerous. So a pro-Palestinian activist group in New York City shared a map of locations prompting concerns about potential violence against Jewish institutions. Officials criticized the call for action, leading to increased security measures by the police. The group organized rallies against perceived genocide and accused university of complicity. Tensions arose amid conflicts between Israel and Hamas, with a surge in anti-Jewish incidents and support for Hamas among college students. So this is just crazy. This graphic is actually, they were posting these. They were posting these around New York with identifying Jewish-owned businesses that may support Israel and that they are colonizers and genociders and yeah. This is absolutely horrendous. This is putting people's lives in danger. And some people are going to say, oh, no, they were just letting you know where these people are. Yeah. And once they're identified, do you think those businesses are not going to get graffiti, their windows smashed in, their doors smashed, things jammed in the locks? You don't think that's going to happen? Of course. That's the purpose here. But they got some plausible deniability. We were just identifying these people. We didn't say to do anything. Yeah. Yeah. This is very, very, very dangerous. And this technique is used often by a particular group with a particular ideology. And what they all have in common is, I don't know, it all seems to come down to being, I don't know, anti-Western civilization, anti-enlightenment. Basically, that's my take on it. You may disagree, and that's okay. But I think this is very, very dangerous. That's why, like, as an example, right, the rhetoric around police here in Portland, especially over, when the George Floyd thing happened, all of the anti-police sentiment was around. You can't get a police... if you're a policeman, you don't want to live in the city of Portland because they identify where you live. People that were anti-cop were doxing, were exposing the home locations of police officers, just trying to do their job. Now they've got to be scared for their family, their kids. It's like, oh, we didn't say to do anything. We're just identifying where they live. It's vile and disgusting. It's vile and disgusting. This tactic is awful. And if you might be a well-intentioned person that is trying to side on the side of standing up for the oppressed or something like that, you need to look at who you're siding with as well. That needs to be a consideration. Because these tactics are very scary. They're very scary. And should be condemned. I have not heard condemnation of what happened in New York City with these flyers identifying Jewish businesses and organizations that were owned by Jews, identified and put out in flyers on the streets. I haven't heard condemnation from the squad about this. But that shouldn't shock anyone. Shouldn't shock anyone. Anyway, let's get to something dumber. Yeah, this guy. Outgoing Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia addresses the possibility of running as a third-party candidate in 2024 presidential election, expressing concern about the current frontrunners, Joe Biden and Trump, criticized both, and he fears that a re-election of Trump would threaten democracy due to his disregard for the rule of law, while also noting Biden's shift toward the left from his initial centrist stance. Manchin emphasized the need for moderation and common sense decisions, suggesting that without mobilizing the moderate population, the political landscape in Washington, dominated by both parties, is unlikely to change. Uniparty establishment, that's what Joe Manchin is all about. But apparently he can read Donald Trump's mind. He knows what Donald Trump is thinking. Threat to democracy. I don't know. Crazy claim. And if you're going to make a claim like that, you might have to have some evidence to back that up, you know. If your evidence is mind reading, you need to show me other instances that you can read minds, right? If you claim that you can read minds, do it. Go ahead. I'm thinking of a number. Yeah, Joe Manchin can't read minds. But, you know, that's what he puts out. I think that this is a ploy, the Joe Manchin thing. This is an interesting technique, and it can be used. Actually, I think perhaps in the future it might be used a lot with third-party candidates, where a third-party candidate, if they can get enough of a following, when it gets down to crunch time, and they know that they can't win, maybe they got 5%, right? You can see the possibility of like, well, I got 5%. These other two guys, they're really, really close. I can decide the winner, right? I can make a deal with one of them, you know, for something that we both want. I can make a deal with them where they'll put me in their cabinet or something. And I'll tell my supporters that, like, hey, I've made a deal. I'm going to be in their cabinet, and we're going to get some of the things that we want. If we don't do this, then the other guy will get it, you know. And that's an interesting play. That could really happen. And those people that don't think that something like that could happen do not have any creativity in their head. Third-party candidates that get a small number of votes, they can make the difference between who wins. Yeah. Or, you know, they can drop out at the last minute. They can endorse one or the other. Or, you know, they could straight up ask for, you know, if they were in and it turned out and they said, hey, we've looked at the numbers. Hey, Donald, we've looked at the numbers. If I stay in the race, you lose. But I don't know. I'll drop out tomorrow. $10 billion. You want to be president? I mean, who knows? And I know that this may sound far-fetched, but is anybody really excited about a Joe Manchin presidential run? I don't think so. Probably the same people that are excited about a Chris Christie presidential run. Anyway, that's all speculation. But we got to speculate sometimes just for fun. Let's talk about the Pentagon. Yeah. So, Pentagon just failed its annual audit for the 6th consecutive year. Out of 29 individual audits, only 7 passed. 1 got a qualified rating, and the rest failed. No fraud was found, but 50% of the Department of Defense's assets couldn't be tracked. Half their assets couldn't be tracked. Now, despite efforts, achieving a clean audit seems years away, and the sheer size of the department makes the process challenging. Lawmakers are concerned about the trend and have proposed legislation to ensure a successful audit next year. Pentagon acknowledges the ongoing learning process, but admits there's more work to do. Yeah, there's more work to do. 6 years in a row. Failed the audit. Half their assets can't even be found. How is this acceptable? How is this acceptable by anyone? Who are the congresspeople or senators that are going to do something about this? Because they represent us, right? I can't do anything about this. That's why we have representatives. They're supposed to represent us. What are they doing about this? I'm going to make a guess. I haven't looked into this at all. I'm going to make a guess. Perhaps MTG will cause a fuss about this. Maybe. Maybe. I would hope it if AOC excuse me. AOC would say something about this, but she seems more and more pro-military, pro-defense, pro-Pentagon, pro-military industrial complex than... It's shocking how she's turned. I don't know, maybe none. Maybe no one will. Thomas Massey, maybe Rand Paul, who knows? Nothing's going to change, right? 6 times in a row, there's not outrage. There's not outrage. Nothing's going to change. I'm going to go back to this video a year from now. Let's see. Next year. 7 in a row? Probably. Probably. They say that there's proposed legislation. Well, let's see how that goes. Not holding up a lot of hope. And speaking of not holding up a lot of hope, don't hold up a lot of hope about these Netflix shows. No. Following the conclusion of the Hollywood strikes for fairer compensation, Netflix canceled 5 shows, including Shadow and Bone, citing rising production costs. Despite the initial success, Shadow and Bone, its 2nd season faced challenges, potentially due to its high budget. Author Leigh Bardugo expressed disappointment, but also gratitude for the adaptation. Fans criticized Netflix's trend of axing shows after 2 seasons, despite efforts like petitions to reverse the decisions. So here we are. We had a number of shows just get axed. And, you know, are there now higher production costs? Yeah, absolutely. You're going to have to pay people more? Yeah, absolutely. Has inflation hit nearly every part of society? It has. Of course, you'll hear Biden talk about Bidenomics and how it's down. Yeah. Must be nice to be that delusional. But, Yeah, that's kind of a drag. I actually didn't watch any of the shows that were canceled, so I can't say they were great. They needed to be canceled. You know, sometimes shows need to be canceled. Just depending on if they're getting the return for it that they want. And there's a lot of things. These things are really complicated. So we don't know the reasons for all of them being canceled. I suspect some weren't just getting the numbers that were required. You know, a lot of times with these shows, it used to be that shows would take a couple seasons before they really took off. Well, I don't think that's going to happen in the future if they're not given a chance to establish an audience. But, yeah, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Is there anything good you're watching on Netflix? I need something new. Let me know in the comments. I need a new show. I did say recently, I can't remember if it was this or the nighttime show. I've been watching this thing on Amazon Prime. 007 something. It's a reality show where they give pairs of people challenges to do. So they have to do a challenge, and then they're asked a trivia question. And if, they have 3 choices, and if they get it right, I think the first time it's 5,000 pounds, then like 10,000 pounds, then 25,000 pounds, then 50,000 pounds, then 100,000 pounds. So each time, after each challenge, the prize goes up and up and up, and I think it goes to 1 million pounds. I haven't finished the series. I'm about halfway through, but it's pretty good, pretty good. What is it called? 007 Amazon. What the heck is it called? 007 Road to 1 Million. So 9 ordinary but engaging couples must emulate, bond, and bag themselves a fortune. So it's pretty good show. Pretty good show. So check it out. But if you've got a show that you think I should check out, let me know in the comments, because I'm always looking for something new. Anyway, lastly, we need some good news today. So let's get to the good news of the day. Yeah, researchers at ETH Zurich used a new 3D printing innovations to create a robotic hand with bones, ligaments, and tendons made from different polymers in a single process. This breakthrough allows for more human-like properties in prosthetics using slower curing polymers that offer better elasticity and durability than previous fast-curing plastics. The technology, developed with MIT startup called Inkbit, enables the printing of intricate structures and the combination of soft and rigid materials. The hand, made from these advanced polymers, shows promise for complex prosthetics and safer interaction with humans. Their work, published in Nature, demonstrates the potential of this new technology. So this hand here, this was printed all at once. Amazing. Amazing. This is just unbelievable. We are living in the coolest times ever. If you're feeling down, just think about all the possibilities that are happening right now. We're living in the future. This prosthetic hand was printed. Wow, that's truly amazing. I'm just blown away by this. And so I wanted to share this story with you, just to consider how optimistic you can be with technology. And imagine they're doing this now. What are they going to be doing in 5 years? I mean, that's something to really think about. And I don't think that most people have the imagination to even imagine all of the incredible stuff that is coming our way. So what a great time to be alive. That's something to celebrate. And I think that that's good news. Let me know what you think in the comments. Anyway, that's all I have prepared for you today. Tonight, if you're not out hitting the club, hitting the town, doing all kinds of fun stuff, you can join me. I'm doing a stream, Midnight Americano, right here, this channel. I'll be here live at midnight on the East Coast, 9 p.m. on the West Coast, and it's a fun hang. So come join me then if you like. You are invited. Everyone is welcome. Anyway, stick around for the after show. I'll be going through all your comments, and have a beautiful weekend. I'll be back on Monday. Until then, peace. Something's happening outside. Just trying to figure out what it is. Not sure. I think it involves trash day. But I don't know. My yard debris was pretty heavy, so perhaps it's really having a struggle lifting it up. Speaking of technology, how cool is that, right? The trash men don't even go out and throw stuff in anymore. They got the machine that just grabs it and lifts it and dumps it in. Pretty nice. Pretty nice. Anyway, what's up, Big Daddy? Hashtag Rumble Gang. University of Complicity. I love it. Yeah. One of these days, someone will dox themselves to draw out the vandalizing elements to thin the herd, maybe. Maybe that's just my idea. Let's hope not. Let's hope that doesn't work. But yeah, I don't know. That's scary. How would you feel if your address were posted on a flyer to a bunch of obviously crazed people that are victims of propaganda and have been told that you are a genocider or you're supporting genocide? That'd be scary. That'd be really scary. I think that's something that we should all agree to. Let's not post addresses of people. That's not in the public's right to know. It's not. It's not. I think that's something that everyone should agree to. And if an organization does that, please don't support that organization. Yeah, that's scary. Anyway, what's up, YouTube? Everyone, thanks for checking in. I really hope that, it's interesting. Every week I go to my YouTube subscribers and there's less and less people. I have far less than I did at the beginning of the year. So either this show is terrible and I'm turning everybody off. That's possible. Or just my channel's hidden. I can't reach anyone new. So I don't know how long I'm going to be able to keep streaming to all platforms. Right now, I did buy a 1-year subscription to be able to stream to multiple platforms, but that is coming up pretty soon, and I'm going to have to decide where I stream exclusively to, unless I'm to buy another subscription. But it's the subscription costs more than I made doing these doing these this year. So yeah, I'm kind of at a net negative for the year doing this. See, the first topic is like a pseudo therapy session for your pre-Thanksgiving gathering. That's what I'm thinking a lot about. You know, how is it that I can have a good Thanksgiving dinner, especially with people that see the world differently? And the thing is, like, I think everyone thinks that they're the good guy, right? You can think that you're the good guy, but if you've been tricked to believing things that aren't true, yeah. Guess I have a new neighbor or something. I'm not sure. They're really loud. Not sure what's going on there. Accurate, of course. It's Fact Check Friday. Nice. There may be a strong disagreement on who are reputable sources. No, I agree with that. There is a disagreement on who are reputable sources. But the thing is that I really do think that most propaganda doesn't stand up to reading the whole article. So, for example, there, you know, like the find people on both sides or whatever thing, right? People may talk about that. They see something, you know, they hear Stephen Colbert make jokes about it or whatever. If you actually read any articles, even from the New York Times, go down to paragraph 17, you'll find out what actually happened. So even though the headline might be misleading, if you read the whole article, most of the time you can actually find out reality. Yeah, disputing their facts is a confrontation in the making. Again, this is tricky, but I'm just want everyone to have a good experience and not alienate themselves from family members, right? You know, how can you do this in a positive way? Is it even possible? And I just think that this is like a fun experiment. You know, try it. Perhaps bet a plate of tacos with someone. You know, at the end, you know, you might become a little closer. You might spend a little bit more time together. That's a good thing. That's a win all around. You don't have to always agree. Anybody get sent to jail for reposting? Yeah, he actually did repost that meme. He didn't create the meme. And in many ways, I'm glad that I don't have 50,000 followers because, you know, that could have happened to me. Just saying. Newsweek seems Newsweek may not qualify for the category reliable sources. It's tough. Lucid says it's spelled it wrong. It's Newsweek, W-E-A-K. I kind of agree there. Krispy Kreme. Krispy Kreme. Yeah, it's fat shaming a little, but I think it's probably accurate. My wife likes Jimmy Kimmel, but I call him Jimmy Crapshoot. Okay. I was shocked, really, just on how blatantly biased he was just watching his monologue last night. I don't know. I did see Rachel Maddow was on Stephen Colbert, and I watched that clip. And I watched his monologue for that show just to see what he was doing these days. And oh my God, I can't believe how, in my opinion, straight up propaganda Stephen Colbert is doing from word one of his monologue. It's really shot. You know, I think it's bad, but then I see it and I'm like, whoa, it's a lot worse than I thought. Really too bad. I used to like late night TV. Those assets went to buildings and stocking DUMBs, but not for protecting the little people, just those in the club. Yeah, exactly. Chris needs some merch, like a donut I can hang from my rearview mirror. Okay, yeah, Chris Christie merch. little donut. That'd be cool. Of course, it would have to have a bite out of it. Of course. I read the trilogy. I'm not sure what the trilogy was. I guess it's of the show that got canceled. Very cool about the prosthetic improvement. Looks like they won't alarm a metal detector also. Yeah, so there's an advantage there. Matthew Adams says, a news AI with unbiased critical thinking programmed to show truth through the use of facts, logic, and reasoning, citing the best sources and links from the different sides of each story. I suspect something like that would get shut down pretty quick. It would get shut down pretty quick, or it may be attacked as, you know, like, I don't know. It's the Nazi fact check or something. You know, it would be demonized immediately by all the media would demonize it immediately. They can't handle honest fact checking. However, I've been, you know, so Open AI, ChatGPT has a new thing where if you subscribe and at a certain level, you can make your own chatbot there. And actually, that was one of the things that I was thinking about. And I'd have to see how hard it is to program. But I would love to experiment trying to make a fact-checking chatbot so that you could maybe drop in a news article into this fact-checking chatbot, and it would just look at the logical reasoning of the article, point out logical fallacies, point out biases. If it did have real-time access to the web, then it could look up different news articles and compare it. But that is a very good idea, and it's something that I'd like to look into. I'm sure other people are looking into it as well. Engagement more important than subs, perhaps, but you know, the numbers aren't that high, you know, for me at all. You know, if you look at any of my streams this year, they don't match any of the numbers that I was getting prior to me taking a year off. Not even close. Not even close. I took a year off because I got frustrated because I was just being hidden in the search results and everything. But at that point, I was getting 100 views on everything I did, and now it's not even close. Tom, please don't give away the Sudoku Master Secrets. Saw that you talked about this last night. The Sudoku Master Secrets. I don't know. I think I need to share it. I think I need to share it. Stephen Colbert went to Epstein Island. Well, I don't know about that. I haven't fact-checked that myself, but wouldn't surprise me. Shadow and Bone. Yes. Okay. Sounds cool. That's why you stopped? Yeah, I stopped because I was just... You know, I was trying to get the channel to grow, and it wasn't. And no matter what I did, it wasn't growing. And I would do searches, and I found out that Google was hiding all my videos. I can look at the analytics of who sees my videos, and it's almost exclusively people that were subscribed. And YouTube wasn't showing my videos to anybody new. And if they were, it was very, very few. Very, very few people that they'd even suggest it to. So, I mean, it could be in their algorithm, right? I mean, can't read minds, but, you know, perhaps I'm not getting the clicks that are needed to be deemed a good video. Maybe that's it. You know, I go around on the service, and I I don't know. I mean, the people that watch this seem to enjoy it. And I figure no matter what you're doing, if there's people that like it, then there's probably more. Like, there's very little chance that the only people in the world that would like my videos are the ones watching it, right? There's very little chance of that. There's very little chance of that. So, this is a new shirt today. I don't recall seeing it before. Not a new shirt. I've had this for a while. This is a classic. This is a classic. This is a take. This is an alternate of the red parrot shirt with the red background from the company that it's called Paradise Found. And this is an alternate of the original Magnum PI shirt with the red parrot. And then it's the same colors, but it would have red rather than black. So this is the alternate version of that. But this is a Hawaiian shirt company. They exclusively made all of the shirts for the original Magnum PI series and the new 2018 reboot of Magnum PI. So all the Aloha shirts that you will see in there are made by Paradise Found Hawaiian shirts. So I've had this particular one for a while. It is yeah, but I like it. It's a nice looking one. My shirts always fade over time. How do you take care of your shirts? Do you throw them in the dryer? I do. So the fading is going to happen a lot more often with 100% cotton Aloha shirts, and if you get polyester or rayon or some kind of synthetic fabric, they tend to hold the color a lot better. If it's 100% silk, it really depends on the printing and the dye of the printing of the fabric, on how they do it, and it really depends on the manufacturer. And then often the shirts that are like, I don't know, bamboo or some kind of alternative fiber, hemp shirts, those are typically not as bright anyway because they don't hold color very well. But this one, I believe, is an artificial. It's not silk, and so therefore it maintains the color a lot better. But yeah, I should think about, I should do a video on all the ins and outs of Aloha shirts, because there's a lot of differences between all the different companies, and I think that's part of the fun, is finding a shirt that fits you better, finding a shirt that that lays correctly, all that good stuff. My friend Mario guessed the Magnum PI part. Yeah. Yeah, actually, you and all of these Paradise Found shirts, they actually make them in different fabrics. So you can just search that. But if you just search for Magnum PI Hawaiian shirt, you'll find the company, and you'll find and you can also find them on Poshmark, for like resale, eBay, whatnot. So yeah, I think it's a fun show. Anyway, thanks for checking in, Rev. Good to see you. Anyway, I hope you all have an awesome weekend. That's all I have, but maybe I'll see you tonight. Midnight Americano. Until then, peace.